it's Mandy Rees here, and this is the final in my series of recent masterclasses that I've been doing about embracing your feminine energy within your business, running an authentically and aligned business. So I am the creator of Mother for Life and the creator of the School of Mother Circle Mastery. I'm an expert at holding space for women, particularly mums and babies. I've been doing this for over 10 years now. In this masterclass, I'm going to answer some random questions that have come into me recently from people in a Facebook group I've created, but also people who are training with me as Mother Circle guides and working with the Mother Circle training blueprint. So there are random questions and I'm going to do my best to answer them to hopefully inform you and empower you. So the first one I've been asked is about setting boundaries within your business, about how when you're working with other women, particularly holding space, sharing in confidential and very sacred conversations where people are opening up their hearts and being very vulnerable with you, how do you create those boundaries in a kind way that protects both you as a human and a businesswoman and also serves your clients? So there's a few things that I can think of. Firstly, most of us in this world are natural empaths and nurturers. So if we could, we would support every woman, every mum that walked past us in the street, but we cannot do that. It's really important that we set boundaries from a healthy, feminine space of understanding that by protecting our own well-being, we're in a much better place to be able to serve our clients. Some ways you can protect boundaries are such as knowing that you do not have to respond to every email instantly. I come from a corporate background. I used to be a real estate lawyer, and in that world, clients did pretty much expect an instantaneous response, and that was effectively the client relationship that you entered into. This world of sharing and holding space is different. People don't always need an immediate response, so check in whether you're responding immediately because of old stories or old practices, or whether you feel that the person needs an immediate response. You can do that by replying immediately with a holding response, or simply deciding that you're going to set your own boundaries, such as I'm going to check my emails at 10 a.m, I'm going to check them again at 3 p.m, and I'm going to respond within an hour's window, either side of those, and I'm only going to check my emails Monday to Friday or Monday to Thursday. So choose something that works best for you. A way to manage your clients' expectations on that is to have a footnote at the bottom of all your emails saying, I check my emails at 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. daily. If it's urgent, please say so in your email and I will get back to you outside that time if I'm able to. So just check that you're not responding to an old mindset and an old pattern of working, perhaps if you've moved from another business or another career into this world. Also, clients will share confidential, emotional, very personal information with you within your circles, but also perhaps on a one-to-one basis. So if you feel confident to do so, if you have the right qualifications, you could offer them support in a one-to-one space, charging for that. Remember how valuable your time is, so that you set boundaries saying, yes, I'm available for one-to-one support, but it's on this basis, and set out clearly what that one-to-one support involves. You can also put boundaries around any WhatsApp groups that you have or Facebook groups. Post in there that you look at this group, Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. You're not here at weekends, but if anything is urgent and it relates to some existing support you're providing, then they can message you direct. So you can do it via WhatsApp, say that you don't respond to texts, and set out your preferred method of communication. I find it difficult sometimes because clients tend to message with their preferred method of communication rather than yours. So you don't know whether you've got messages in Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook. You vaguely remember something coming in Messenger, but you can't remember which account it's on. So set boundaries. Good places for doing circle work is to put each circle into a container. So you could put it into WhatsApp or something like Telegram. And again, set out when you're in that space, but invite the mums to message each other at any time. And I find that my groups start to run on their own. Mums effectively run it by messaging each other, and I only pop in when I feel that I can be helpful or if it's needed. So remember, you are a CEO of your business. So from your feminine, operate as a CEO. You're a great communicator. You're a wonderful empath, but it's not your role to be there for every single mum that you are supporting 24 hours a day. Practice what you share with your mums in your circles and be a really good role model by showing them how an empowered and in balance woman sets really healthy boundaries that work for her and her client. You also have to have a conversation with those voices in your head that might be saying, oh yeah, but I should do this. I need to be there. Check in, do you really need to do that? Or is that kind of your conscience rearing her not so helpful head? So check in with your own mindset. What's going on there? Is these feelings of you not feeling adequate or confident or comfortable enough in certain aspects of your life that are triggering or being triggered by your clients? So check that as well and kind of do the mindset work that you need to allow you to set those healthy boundaries. So the next question I've had is about competition. So I have a beautiful lady who's doing my Mother Circle training with me at the moment, and she's having a difficult time with a local lady who's doing very similar work and is seeing her as competition and hasn't been supportive in any way and is actually going out of her way to be unhelpful. It's really hard when this happens because it makes us feel really uncomfortable and icky that someone would treat us in this way. So the first thing I would suggest is that you sit back and remember that this is about that person and the way that they are responding to you and not anything that you have actively done. You can never control that person. You can't control what they do. You can't control what they say, but you can control how you respond to it. So how would you want to respond in that situation? You might decide that you do want to reach out to that person. You might decide that it's already reached the point that you don't think that's going to work. So you may decide that you're going to not see what this person does on social media. You're not going to be interested in what they're doing with their classes. You're going to go back to staying in your lane. So if you go to the kind of imposter syndrome and align staying in your lane masterclasses, you'll get some really lovely empowering tips about how working with your feminine can help you to do both of those things. And this relates to lots of aspects of life and business. We have no control and very little influence over what other people do and say about us. And it's not our job to please everybody. The fact that somebody is made uncomfortable by you suggests that you are being very good at your job and you're running beautiful mother circles and they're feeling threatened. In my experience, what I find the best thing for me to do for my own emotional well-being is for me to unfollow that person on things and to try my very best to forget them. Sometimes people will then say, have you seen what so-and-so's saying about you or posting about you? And I just say, no, I haven't. I'm just sticking to my business plan. I'm really happy with where I'm going. I hope everything works out for them as well. It doesn't feel nice, but try not to go into that masculine place of competing, feeling that they've shunned you. How dare they? It's outrageous. No, it's all of those things. But if you can lean back into the feminine space of how do I want to respond to this? Respond with kindness and compassion for yourself by doing what works best for you. And that probably is just ignoring what that person's doing, going out with your friends, spending time with your family, and just filling up your love cup and letting them get on with whatever it is that's going on in their lives, and you stay firmly in your beautiful lane. The next question is about silence within circle spaces. Many of us, particularly the people pleasers of us, of which I am a recovering people pleaser, like to fill space because we find space uncomfortable and we don't like to think that someone else is uncomfortable, so we fill gaps in conversations And sometimes we can end up saying things that we don't really, really mean, but we say them to make the other person or other people to feel good or more comfortable. Now, in circle, there will be silences, and that is one of the most magical, beautiful, and transformative parts of a circle. But when you're starting out, it can feel difficult to hold, and it can feel as if this isn't flowing well, nobody's going to say anything, I feel uncomfortable, therefore the mums must feel uncomfortable. So again, firstly, the way you're feeling isn't necessarily the way mums are feeling. You're watching everybody and observing what they're doing. Chances are most likely they are thinking, or they're preoccupied by their babies, or their brains are just whirring while they process what's been talked about. The silence is never as long as you think it is, but I have noticed from all the years that I've been doing this that the silences are where mums drop into a different place of thought and safety, really. And also it's where they are more likely to share something that's at a deeper, more vulnerable level than they will if the conversation is more back and forth. So if you're able to hold the silence, and I used to do it in practical ways, such as literally counting numbers in my head, or just looking at each mum in turn, not necessarily making eye contact, but looking at her in turn to take up the space so I didn't feel so obvious in it. Now I'm comfortable simply sitting there, and somebody will offer something. It's such a beautiful gift to give to a woman, of space in which her brain can really process and tune into how she's genuinely feeling about something you might have been talking about, or simply an invitation to share what's going on, how do you feel, is there anything that we can offer you from this space today? And if you need to, say, right, I'm going to give myself 5 or 10 big breaths before I say anything. I'm going to wait and see what happens. My 10 breath silence is enough. I know that if nothing's been said within 10 breaths, then I will gather the circle together again. But I'm pretty sure that you will find within that 10 breath pause that somebody has shared something which is really important. And it's from that sharing that the healing and the transformation takes place. So I would urge you to not fear the silence. It's not as long as you think. It doesn't feel as long and awkward to you as it does to the women that you're holding, but also it's the magical healing spaces of your circle as well. So the little practical things are, to take 5 or 10 big breaths, to count in your head, or to look around at everybody in the circle in turn. So you're giving the space for those healing words to bubble up, to come to the surface. And if you've cleared the space, set the space, and everyone feels safe enough in there, then people will share within the silence that you're holding. The next question is, and this comes up a lot, and I completely understand this, and it's really difficult. It's, your time is valuable, so you deserve to be paid for the space that you're creating. But not every mum in your community or in the world is going to be able to afford to come to a mother circle, and not everybody likes that. So I've had comments on my social media feeds, I've seen it from the women training with me, oh, this should be free, why aren't you offering this for free? You can't, because you've trained, you've prepped, you've booked the room, you've cleared yourself, you've spent the time organising everything, you've got the resources, you've printed them off, you've done perhaps my course and other courses, and all of that means that you are an expert in what you do, and what you are offering is incredibly valuable. It really does change lives of mums, of women, whoever you decide to hold space for. But think about it in the more long term. So when I first started my business, I wasn't in a financial position to do this, But when my business had been established only for a couple of years, I was able to offer free spaces if I felt that a mum needed it. I was able to offer discounted spaces as well. So I wouldn't advertise these, but if a mum was communicating with me and she said, I just can't afford it right now, or I got the feeling that she couldn't afford it right now, excuse me, got a scratchy eye, I would offer her a discounted or a free space. And I was able to do that because the mums that could afford it paid in full, so that I had the discretion and the ability to offer those discounted or those free spaces. You are never going to be able to please everybody. Unfortunately, we live in a world where not everybody can afford everything they want. If you run enough circles that you charge full price for, it gives you the option then to offer free or discounted places, or even to start, if you're doing 5 circles a week, you could say for mums at a certain income level, or a particular, young mums, single mums, you could offer a free circle space. This is at your discretion. You are the CEO of your business. You get to choose how you want to charge and who you want to charge. But please don't go into that rabbit hole of just feeling rubbish about yourself if someone says you should be offering this for free, because there is so much value in a mother circle, and you've spent an awful lot of money to qualify and to just get everything it needs just to keep your business running from a week-to-week basis. And the final question I'm going to cover in this masterclass is more of a practical one, and it's something that pops up quite often in the training, and it's booking systems. How do you book people in? So you can have a website, but you do not have to have a website. So please don't think that to launch a Mother Circle business or a Women's Circle business, you need to have a really swanky website. You don't. You can use something like Eventbrite. Eventbrite lets you list things, and you can have them up to a certain number of people going, and that's free to list. You'll still have to pay a payment provider such as Stripe or PayPal to then get the money from Eventbrite to you, so there will be an admin fee there. You can use Bookwhen. There's things like Acuity and Calendly that you can use. Some people who do have software, CRM systems like Kartra or Kajabi, you can put a sales page together with like a Stripe payment link in there, so people can just enter their credit card details, and that's all dealt with by Stripe, so you don't have to worry about all the rules and regulations around that. You could even just have a system where you email people backwards and forwards, and then they transfer the money straight into your bank account, and then you have a Google health questionnaire form and people complete it that way. So that way, with a Google form and going into your bank account, you will pay minimal, if no fees. Eventbrite you can list for no fees, but you're probably going to have to pay to get the money transferred into your bank account. And then things like Acuity, Calendly, Bookwhen, they will take an admin fee, but honestly, it's often worth that in terms of the time it saves you on admin. And they'll also send reminders out to your mums about when the circle is or when the retreat is, so you haven't got to constantly remind them, and you can personalise that and set when the reminders are going out. So in terms of preserving your time, which again is a boundary, which is really important around your business, because you don't want to be working all hours. You want a business that fits around your life, so you can do the things that you want to and be with your family and friends, and also be with yourself when you want to. As you start to expand and develop, it probably is worth just investing in a kind of Calendly or Acuity or Bookwhen system, because it deals with the payments for you, it notifies people, reminds them of when things are coming up. So I hope those kind of initial questions have been helpful. I hope that the Masterclass series has inspired you and empowered you. If you have any questions on holding space, particularly for mums and babies, about creating a wellness business for mums and babies, I'd really love to hear from you. I'm really happy to answer any questions, whether you put them here in the chat, you message me directly, you pop a message on YouTube if that's where you're watching this video. Please do get in touch. I'm Mandy Rees. I absolutely love working in the maternal wellbeing field. I am a huge champion of women. not just individual women, but as a collective. I'm all about women loving, supporting, liking themselves, and also loving and supporting and liking each other. If you're on the same page, please get in touch. I would love to meet you. And bye.